What up, everybody? Welcome back to Unplugged and Uncut, the new source for sports news and entertainment right here on Cloud9 Radio. You're kicking it with your boy Unique. I'm in the Batcave today, as y'all can tell. But before we get started, if you're not taking the time to hit that subscribe button, make sure you do. I will be giving away a PlayStation 5 and a free game of your choice once I hit 100,000 subscribers right here on Cloud9 Radio. We on the grind and we trying to get it, so we gonna be giving it while we get it. Gotta give to get, gotta give a little bit, get a little bit. Not to mention the PlayStation 5, we also got $2,600 cash, prizes that we've broken up. You'd have to go back and watch the gaming video to see the breakdown. We got a big subject to go through, so I'm not gonna get all the way into the breakdown of that $2,600, but you can win it. All you gotta do is be a subscriber and leave comments in the comments section. But without further ado, let's get into today's subject, the San Antonio Spurs and why they should be trading Thaddeus Young to avoid that buyout market. That's right, Thaddeus Young has not been playing. He's an excellent player, or at least a really good player that could be helping the team. In fact, he could be helping the Spurs. But the Spurs, and there's nothing wrong with this, have decided to go with their young guns. They're developing their young players on the fly into the system, and they were doing really well. They had got onto a 4-game winning streak. I had at one time, foolishly maybe so, but you know, as a homer, it's perfect. I gotta speak with optimism. I predicted they might get up to the 6th seed, but they then fell back into the 12th spot. And that's largely due to DeJounte Murray falling into protocols. COVID's kicking everybody butts. Unfortunately, I thought the Spurs might be able to handle the COVID situation. They got a lot of young players and bodies over there, but they weren't able to withstand the loss of DeJounte Murray's leadership. And you got Thaddeus Young just sitting here, not getting no playing time, getting DNPs. He's came out and stated multiple times now that he would prefer to play for a contending team. And there's nothing wrong with him wanting to play for a contender. The Spurs are rebuilding, obviously. They're trying to be that fringe outside bubble team and develop their players as they go and hopefully make the playoffs, but they're not a contending team quite yet. They still got a long way to go, in fact. So instead of just losing Thaddeus Young for nothing at that buyout market, like the Spurs are known to do, you know, it's nothing wrong with that strategy of helping vets out. It gives the Spurs a good name of like, hey, if we bring you here, you know, we're not going to try and force you to go somewhere. We'll buy you out and let you pick where you go. But in this situation, Thaddeus Young was acquired via trade for DeMar DeRozan. Now, if you buy out Thaddeus Young, your return for DeMar DeRozan becomes a bunch of draft picks. Not even a bunch, 3 draft picks. 1 first round and 2 second rounds. Horrible, Craig, horrible. Because of the Aminu situation. You know, you got Aminu, but you cut him right away. So I don't like that return on that trade. So if I'm the Spurs GM, Brian Wright, y'all send this video to Brian Wright. I'm getting on the phone with several teams just to check them out. See where their gauge is at, what they're talking about. First team I'm talking to is the Phoenix Suns. They've already been reportedly interested in Thaddeus Young. Why not call them and see if they're still interested in Thaddeus Young as they get ready for their championship contention here in 2022 as we make our race towards the playoffs. The Phoenix Suns had offered, or the package is reportedly to be offered, Jalen Smith and Dario Saric. That's not a bad return. Dario Saric's for cap filler. Obviously, he's hurt. We'll see what he could do next year. You could try and flip him to another contender team, or you could buy him out like the Spurs like to do. Buy out the players. Let them go where they want. But Jalen Smith is an interesting young big. Hasn't really got much time to play out there in Phoenix, so we don't know what he has. But he's an interesting player to check out, nonetheless. If you're not interested in Jalen Smith, reach out to the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings want to win. They got De'Aaron Fox, Halliburton. Man, they got some guards. Buddy Hield. They could use a veteran leadership of Thaddeus Young. What about their disgruntled player, Marvin Bagley, for Thaddeus Young? Brian Wright. Call Sacramento, see what they're talking about. They might want more than Thaddeus Young. but you might be able to attach a draft pick or a second-round draft pick and make that happen. That gives the Spurs an excellent power forward that can slide to small forward, power forward, center, and Marvin Bagley, and gives them some more height. The Spurs got a lot of guard depth, and their big depth is getting better, but their power forward depth is interesting, with Zach Collins being out right now and Thaddeus Young not getting no playing time. So Marvin Bagley is an interesting prospect and another outstanding young talent you could add to your team. I actually like him over Jalen Smith. The next team I'm hollering at is a team that's been mentioned in rumors throughout our episodes and throughout the NBA period, is Ben Simmons. Now, you're not going to get Ben Simmons with Thaddeus Young, but if you're willing to part with one of your young guards, DeJounte Murray or Derek White, I don't know who you part with because they both are outstanding. Derek White has been returning to form. He's an excellent on-ball defender, shot blocker, charge taker. He can set up the offense, and DeJounte Murray's just been flat out playing like an all-star. So I don't know who you trade. If you want to trade either one of those, because you've been grooming that backcourt to be the backcourt of the future, so you might want to just keep those guys together. But if you are willing to part with one of them, man, Ben Simmons has got to be at the top of the list. Maybe the best defender in the league all around. I mean, he could guard the 1 to the 5 and really lock them down. And he's an excellent passer, ball handler. And let's not forget, the man can get buckets. He did put 40-plus points up on Rudy Gobert, who was a Defensive Player of the Year, just to make a point and say, I can get buckets. It's something there. Maybe the Sixer fans were booing him too hard, and the throwing them under the bus by the coach and Joel Embiid didn't help, but it's something there. Ben Simmons is definitely an all-star caliber player and worth checking out. The next team I'm calling is the Pacers. They've already stated they open. Let's go. Let's trade. Who you want? Sabonis, Karis LeVert. Now, I'm interested in Sabonis, and it's going to take more than Thaddeus Young. So you're going to have to be willing to put a couple draft picks in there probably and a young talent. But if you want Sabonis, that's a great player. I mean, I don't know how he fits next to Jakob Poeltl, but still, I'd be willing to take that chance to see how it fits because Sabonis is a beast. Karis LeVert, I really don't see Karis LeVert coming over to the Spurs unless you're willing to lose Derek White. And honestly, I'm probably going to keep Derek White over Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert has a higher upside for offense, but Derek White's defense puts him right on par with Karis LeVert. If you ask me, he still has good offense. He's just a better defender. Now, after that, teams like the Golden State Warriors and James Wiseman, I don't think Thaddeus Young gets that deal done, but watch out for a Jakob Poeltl James Wiseman trade. I can see Golden State talking to the Spurs about that. James Wiseman's an excellent big that's not playing right now. He should be returning real soon, though. And Jakob Poeltl's also a really excellent defender that could fulfill that Andrew Bogut role for the Golden State Warriors. That's why I mentioned him. I think the Spurs like Jakob Poeltl, though, kind of like I do, and his contract situation is very outstanding, very affordable. So I don't see them getting rid of Jakob Poeltl, but that is a team to watch out for on the side. Also, the Cleveland Cavaliers and Larry Marketing. Originally, that's who the Spurs wanted, was Larry Marketing. So why not holler at the Cleveland Cavaliers and see about a Thaddeus Young, Larry Marketing trade? Cavs have been playing good. They've actually moved Marketing to the small forward position. Thaddeus Young would be a better small forward, I think, than Larry Marketing. Marketing, to me, is a power forward center with stretch abilities. But he's been showing some mobility, and he's holding his own up against small forwards. So I'm very impressed with his mobility as a big and his ability to go out there and switch on the small forwards. That has been impressive. But holla at the Cavaliers. You might have to attach a draft pick to that. I don't know what you got to do, but it's an interesting pickup. Now, Marketing next to your boy Jakob Poeltl, that's an excellent fit because one can stretch the floor, one is interior, and that's a nice fit right there. And it gives the Spurs some more size. The next team I'm looking at is another disgruntled player who just got suspended, Christian Wood and the Houston Rockets. with him having this situation in Houston, is Houston ready to come up off that contract? I'm not offering anything big for Christian Wood, but if Thaddeus Young and Christian Wood switch, I definitely would do that. That's an interesting switch for the Spurs. Maybe add one draft pick in their second round draft pick just to help out the deal. I'm not offering too much more than that because I don't know where Christian Wood's mind is right now after the situation in Houston. And I don't know why he was tripping with them. So I'd be a little wary on that. But I would reach out to him to see if that's a trade they'd be willing to do. You put Christian Wood next to Jakob Poeltl, you got another interesting 1-2 combination with the bigs. Now, I'm going to throw the Lakers out there because they've been mentioned to want Derek White. But I looked at all their contracts they got. And I just don't see how you make that happen. THT and Kendrick Nunn doesn't sound like an appealing trade for Derek White. I'm sorry. So I don't see that happening, Laker fans. I know that's something that I've seen in y'all's rumors that y'all been interested in Derek White. Probably not going to happen. So I did want to mention that for my Laker fans out there. So my final thoughts, man, honestly, is the Spurs are now tied in 12th with Portland after going on a losing streak here. Boo. Horrible, Craig, horrible. But I'm not going to blame them. I'm going to blame COVID. Really took them out their rhythm. They were picking it up, man. It was nice to see them at full strength, being able to beat some of the better teams in the league and seeing what the future holds for the Spurs. But right now in the present, I think they really got to focus on moving Thaddeus Young and trying to acquire some type of asset for him before that buyout market. I think this time would be bad. You got a player that has obvious trade value. Like the Spurs could have traded LaMarcus Aldridge and probably picked up Precious Achiuwa from the Miami Heat last year. Now you got another stretch big that could be on your team that's young. So I don't want to see the Spurs come into that situation again where you got players that are asking to be traded, having to wait to the buyout market instead of finding something that you can get in return. Marvin Bagley's a good player. Go after him. Jalen Smith is an interesting player, to say the least. We don't know what he has in the NBA, but throw him in the G League in Austin, let him learn the plays, and then maybe you got something. We don't know. Reach out to Philly. Reach out to the Pacers. Reach out to these teams and see what you can do, Brian Wright. Don't just be that armchair GM and not do anything. Let's make some splashes. Let's see what the Spurs can do. They still have a chance to get into that play-in tournament. I know a lot of fans want them to keep falling back and playing the young guns, but you can win and play the young guns, especially with Murray coming back. So let's see if they can get back into that 10th spot so we have something to cheer about and push them to the 8th seed in our minds as Spurs fans. But let's see how it goes, y'all. That's what I got for y'all today. I really wanted to just touch on the Thaddeus Young situation and the multiple opportunities that are really out there that seem to be just passing the Spurs up. So let's see if they do anything. I'll talk to you guys later on today. We got another great show coming out, so look out for that. But your boy's out for right now. Peace.